That's just fool me once. Fool me, we can't get fooled again.
A recent survey by the Pew Research Center revealing that more Americans are steering away from organized religion. The shocking survey says 29% of U.S. adults say they have no religious affiliation. That's up 6% since 2016. The survey also says that less than half of U.S. adults say that they pray on a daily basis, and 25% only 25% attend weekly services. Faith leaders like our next guest have turned to social media like Instagram and TikTok as a way to reach the younger generation. Joining us now is author of Learn to Pray, a guide for everyone, Reverend James Martin. Reverend, thank you for joining us this morning. You say that the church needs to go online. I have to say, as a mom and a fellow Catholic, I'm not sure that's the answer. I'd love to hear your perspective, because I think a lot of people need to be in person, and that all this social media is making people feel more and more isolated.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's no substitute for going to Mass and being with the community. But certainly in the pandemic, it's one way to reach people. And, really, that's where a lot of people are these days. I look at Jesus, and you see someone who went to where people were in two ways. Physically, he went from Nazareth to Galilee, to the Sea of Galilee and Jerusalem. He physically went to where they were. And then when he got there, he spoke in their language. He spoke in simple stories and parables. And in a sense, that's what we're doing on social media. We're going to where people are, and we're speaking in their language. But you're right, it is not a substitute for Mass and being in person.
Absolutely. And so many priests and pastors shut their churches during this pandemic and allowed the government to tell the church that they needed to close, and they submitted to that. I've heard of some priests actually apologizing to their parishioners for doing that and saying, if the government tells me to shut my doors again, I won't. I think a lot of people fell out of the habit of going to church. Does the church itself bear some responsibility for this drop in attendance?
Well, I think they were responding to a health need. I think they were trying to keep people safe. It's, in the Catholic Church, we're pro-life, and that includes taking care of people's lives, even in a pandemic. So I don't think it's that the churches were responsible. I think people were staying away for those reasons. But I think the question is, will they come back after the pandemic? Will they have gotten in the habit of not going to Mass, or will they really seek out community and want to go back? So that's an open question.
Yeah, and I think there's a lot that the church could do as well to fight back on Marxism, cultural Marxism, which has taken over our youth. As you know, Marxism actually sees religion and family as a competition. Is there something that the church can do in that regard as well to fight back against ideologies that are highly secular, like Marxism?
Well, I don't know if Marxism is much of a problem as just general secularism and questions of things that are impinging on people's time. I think the question is, as the culture gets more and more secular, what can religion offer? And, again, it's offering them an encounter with God. And I think it's, once again, meeting them where they are. And to go back to your original question, sometimes that's on social media. And I think that's okay if that's where people are.
Yeah, if that's where people are, but I think also the church needs to bring us to a higher level. I think that's why, Father, you're also seeing in the Catholic Church a return to so many of our ancient traditions, Latin Masses becoming very popular among young people, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, among some young people, I think the numbers are still pretty small, but I think, once again, it's meeting them wherever they are. And it is, sometimes in the Latin Mass, but more often in the vernacular. And what can the church do to encourage people to encounter God? And also, in terms of the pandemic, what can the church do to help heal people from this really kind of traumatic experience that people have been going through?
Absolutely. Well, opening the churches is a great first step. Thank you so much for joining us, Reverend. Appreciate it.
My pleasure.
Jamie Martin won't be going on that show again. God bless that Fox host. Hey there. I see you made it to the end of the video. Thank you. I'm so proud of you.
Hey, make sure you go to my website, davidlgray.info, and make sure you bookmark it and come back often, because I'm teaching some new courses this year, and I'm sure you're going to be interested in a lot of them. And if you're a member of my Patreon team, you'll have free access to the courses, even many of the ones I'm teaching exclusively to high school students. So that's my website, davidlgray.info. So go there, bookmark it, and join me on Patreon. And well, until then, until next time, blessings and shalom to you and to yours.